It's time for some real education. The Jewish Bride is an oil painting by Rembrandt created sometime between the years 1665 and 1669. The painting gained its current name in the early 19th century when an Amsterdam art collector identified the subject as that of a Jewish father bestowing a necklace upon his daughter on her wedding day. This interpretation is no longer accepted, and the identity of the couple is uncertain. The ambiguity is heightened by the lack of anecdotal context, leaving only the central universal theme, that of a couple joined in love.
Well, even that's speculative. Look at the beautiful picture, first of all. Do we know if this is a father and a daughter? How do we know it's a husband and a wife? How do you know any of that stuff? Except for the hand on the breast, which might be, I suppose, a kind of giveaway. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, we don't know the permanence. As Katie said, we don't have enough anecdotal evidence from within the picture itself to decide one way or the other. But I want to go back to the picture and take a look at it, because Rembrandt van Rijn is a genius. And think about what you have to do to be a successful painter. You have to be able to create things on a flat plane that aren't flat. You have to be able to create light. How do you create light that infuses through a flat canvas the way light cascades through a window or cascades through a cloud? How do you do that? That is a completely multidimensional image that you have to create in a lifelike way on a flat canvas. The other thing you have to create besides light is texture. How do you create with flat paint on flat canvas, or oil for that, oil paint? How do you create texturized images? Go a little bit further, Mike, in the image. That's the sleeve. We're going to look at that sleeve. That's the sleeve of the standing man, the father, the lover, the boyfriend, whatever it is. And you can see that's paint. That's simple, often gold with umber tinctures, right? It's oil paint, but look at how, even after 300 plus years, you have ripples, you have cloth, golden cloth moving. You could almost see the weave and how it was woven. You could almost always see the pattern there moving back and forth. If you step back off that for a second, back to the original picture, and you see from a distance what a relatively minor detail it might be, but notice how that sleeve, that simple sleeve, gives off both light and texture. The other thing you need is depth, right? Light, texture, and depth. Now look at the sleeve. When you focus almost exclusively on the sleeve, right, at a close-up, it's not clear that it's a sleeve. It could be a lot of different things, but now back up to the original picture, and what do you see? You see how that sleeve functions. And by the way, that sleeve, besides being a source, notice how it's a source of light in the painting. Notice how, but among the bride and the groom, the man and the woman, perhaps even more than the reds in her dress, that sleeve gives off almost a positive, radiant light. And because of that, notice what you see. Look beyond the sleeve. Look to the chest of the man who is sporting that sleeve, and you see depth. You see a great gap that's not there, right? One of the hardest things about painting is to do any one of those three things right: light, depth, or texture. Almost nobody did them better than Rembrandt. And go back to the middle picture we skipped. Take a look at the placement of hands here. I mean, what you've got, there's a whole Garden of Eden story there. There's a whole sin and redemption image there with the beautiful way those hands are placed. His hand on her breast, her hand on his hand, encouraging or warning. Her other hand covering her private area, right? There's a lot going on in this picture of deep, deep significance. Rembrandt was a genius, my friends.